Zeminig l'shneach means to like spread. Asavim. Asavim is an interesting word. What asavim means? Usually asavim means like grass, but could be means like greenery. It doesn't mention anywhere about flowers. There's nowhere about flowers. That became sort of the way to go now. Yes, flowers are more beautiful than your average greenery. But Agrada does not mention flowers, and you'll see the reason doesn't even make sense why flowers would be the thing to put out. But asavim, greenery, flowers, stuff like that. In the shul, why? Where does this come from? Says the Ramah, Zecher l'simchas matan Torah. To remember the joy of the giving of the Torah, so geschmack, and we have this to remember it. What does matan Torah have to do with having grass or things like that? The Mishabru explains, Shahayu sham asavim sviv Har Sinai. You have to remember they're in a desert. Har Sinai, nothing going on there. If you look at a map, Har Sinai is, we don't know exactly where Har Sinai is. There are no one has it down pat, but Har Sinai pretty much is like over here somewhere, okay? Har Sinai is like all the way, like maybe like between like Egypt, Eilat, like that area south is where Har Sinai is. In the middle of the desert, the Negev, nowhere near anything. Har Sinai had lush vegetation on the mountain. How do we know? Where do you make it? Maybe not. It's the pasuk. The pasuk says, "Kidichsiv hatzaim v'habakar al yiru el mula harahu." Hashem told Moshe, make sure that none of the sheep and the cattle, they don't graze on this mountain. You're not allowed to graze. Graze. What's there to eat on Har Sinai? The answer was there was what to eat. There were grass, and these animals eat grass. You see from here that it was a lush mountain, Har Sinai, probably because of the miracle that's going to happen. Does not mention, do animals eat flowers? No, I don't think, as far as I know, maybe bees. And do animals eat flowers? Maybe I don't know. What?
I think the deer eat.
Deer eat flowers?
They eat everything.
Okay, fine.
Trees, they eat everything.
So I'm assuming asava means more like grass and stuff like that. Interesting, another thing about Eretz Yisrael, we spoke about this by the Navi Shir. When Klal Yisrael came into Eretz Yisrael, they made a new bris. Like, we're going to keep the Torah, and we're going to accept whatever it is. A very interesting bris. I never heard such a thing before. It ever happened like this. But they went on half the Shvat. They went on one mountain called Har Grizim. Half went on Har Evel, it was near Shechem. And the Kanim were in the middle with the Oren. And they said, blesses whoever keeps the Torah. And they said, Amen. And curse to do the blesses and the curses. A whole fancy bris. The one that the blesses were said by, and they said Amen, was Har Grizim. Har Grizim, if you look at a map, I one time looked at it, is a lush mountain, beautiful mountain. While the one that they said the curses to was Har Evel is like a barren mountain. There it's just interesting. You see these types of things. When good things are attributed to the mountains, they grow, while things that are like negative, even though it wasn't like the Shvatim on Har Evel were any worse. Just Hashem made it like that. Some Shvatim go here, some Shvatim go there, but the curses were directed towards that mountain. So Lamaisa, it's a barren mountain. But Al Kapanim, you see that that it was full of grasses, and the Ramah says that there was a minig to do it. Okay, but the Ramah says further. The Mishabura says further. The Mishabura says, "Noigin lahamid ilanis beveis hakneses ubabata." There's another minog, and that is to put trees in shuls and in the homes. Anybody had a tree in their shul or in their house? Tree? Hasidim do trees? What? What? Fake trees. Okay, fake trees. I grew up in my shul, Toronto, Dagura. We had by the Aron Kodesh, we had 2 trees. Whatever, like they were in like a pot or something, some sort of thing. But it was like a tree, like near the Aron Kodesh. But there was a minute to put trees. Why trees? Doesn't say there were trees on Har Sinai. Different reason. Not because of that. Zecher Shabbat Seres Nidoinu al Peres Elon. That on Shavuos we're judged on the fruits of the tree. Not so well known. Even though Rosh Hashanah we're judged ourselves individually, but there's different points of the year that we're judged for different major things. Sukkot, we're judged for water. So much of Sukkot is about water. A lot of the Dalminim and the tons of stuff going on there. So the Beis Shveva, we're judged on water. Water is the source of Parnasa. On Shavuos, we're judged on the fruits of the tree. Not to be confused with Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat has nothing to do with being judged on the fruits of the tree. Tu B'Shvat is just the year when the trees, for Maestros and stuff like that, the year ended and the new year began. But Shavuos is when we're judged on the fruits of the tree. And therefore, we want to have trees in our shul. Why? What does it help? It's brought down to daven. Did anybody here ever daven that we should have good fruits of the tree on Shavuos? Anybody? I wonder if the piyutim, I don't see it in the regular tefillas, but Lamaisa they say it's supposed to daven, to have good fruits for the coming year. So that is why we have trees.
You should put a fruit tree there or any tree?
Oh, so they actually say make sure you don't cut down a fruit tree anywhere. You're not allowed to ever cut down a fruit tree. Again, there are times it could be mako. There are times, but you're not allowed to cut a fruit tree for this reason. So I guess it have to be either a natural one that's a fruit tree that grows in a pot initially, or a barren tree. It just reminds you of the tree.
Is that not about pashtas?
What?
If you have a purpose for cutting down your fruit tree.
So I saw this question. I says it's not enough of a purpose. This minhag. Okay, fruit trees like an issa deraisa, and like very esoteric. Also, like, whoa, like you stay far away from this stuff. What?
Everybody has to be 4 years old.
What do you mean?
How to have to daven for fruits of a tree though.
That tree. I hear. But it's more to remind you about the trees than to daven for them. Okay, so far so good. 2 minhagim that are brought down. Fine. Comes along the Gra, and the Gra makes huge mapech on this, and Mishabur brings it down. V'hagra bitul minhag zeh. The Gra, the Vilna Gaon, was mavatal this minhag. Why? Mishum sha'achshav nowadays hu chayka amim. It's something that the other nations do, like their laws and their things and their their Yom Tovim. Lahamad ilanis b'chag shalem. They put up trees on their Yom Tovim. What Yom Tov are they talking about?
Palm Sunday.
What?
Palm Sunday.
What's Palm Sunday?
Yes,
Xmas. What's Palm Sunday? I don't know what that is. That has to do with
Xmas.
Xmas.
Back in Europe. They did it. Sorry.
So I don't know. I don't know this thing.
They had it improved, they had it in Germany.
That's Monday.
So the Gra said,
Sunday.
do not, again, he's not anti the minhag for what it represents. To daven for trees. He's totally fine with that. His issue is if something became the chayk of Goyim, we should not do this. Okay? This minhag we should, again, if it was in the Torah, we would continue to do it. But there's something in the Torah that also changed because of the Goyim did. We used to be very into matzedas, stones that are one stone. They used to bring karbanas on matzeva. You see in the Torah, matzeva, and eventually, even in the Torah, stop doing matzevas. Just make a mizbech out of multiple stones, not one stone. What changed? The Farshim say because the Goyim got into it. Oh, the Goyim got into it. We stopped doing it. There is a concept once Goyim get very into something for their reasons that we sort of go the other way. So the Gra says over here as well, do not do this anymore. This is their thing. Their trees. I guess by the Vilna Gaon they already had kratzmach trees. There was something that was in back then. And he says, be mevatla. Now it sounds like from the Mishnah Berurah, he was only referring to the trees. He was not referring to the asavim, grasses and flowers, which makes sense based on what we're seeing here. However, there are multiple achronim that say it apply to all of it. I guess it's sort of like a one, even though different reasons, sort of like throws it all together. This is not clear. Some say he was anti both. Some say he was anti just the trees. Okay, so there are different minhagim. You look in the current achronim about it. Some are noeg yes, some are noeg no. There's different minhagim. Agar was named after the Vilna Gaon personally, but I grew up in shuls that had flowers and trees. I grew up like that. Did our shul have? I wasn't here last year. Shuls was there grass? They did have. Okay, so the event committee or the board? I'm not sure who's the shade.
Is much better.
I hear. So again,
Membership's gonna have to go up $25.
I hear. So you'll see on Shavuos when you come in, you'll see what the shul is going to look like at that time. Is there any response that we could have to the Vilna Gaon? L'maisi had a good time. Chukas HaGoyim. What response do we have that we do it? And a lot of shuls do it. Chukas HaSlev, we shouldn't do it in their place.
We do it first.
What?
We do it first. That's still Chukas HaGoyim.
Okay, so
And
that.
they follow after.
So I don't know if the fact that it's first, but I'll give you another answer that has to be being
By
first.
Hanukkah, we
Yeah.
said was okay according to Yaakov Kamenetsky, right? Because we did it first.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Is it a religious thing anymore?
What?
I don't think it's
They still do it. No.
What's not religious?
On Sunday. They
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
the trees around the church.
I know that, right?
So I'm not sure if this is what you're referring to.
I think they also.
Yeah, but that's the Zeker for Sukkot, no?
No, it's because when Yashka walked through Yerushalayim,
I'm saying is that
Yeah, you can't
either
do it.
one could have been from.
they literally had branches. Everyone comes
Yeah.
marching branches into the church.
Right.
Yeah, so why do we still do lulav?
You have to ask about palm, by the
So
way.
why don't we
Right.
why make the cut on lulav?
Okay, so the Marsham says in Das Torah, he says it's not a problem. Steve was really saying, actually, Steve brought up something else that's going to get today. We'll talk about in a second. Could be about this. And that is, why is it not a problem? So there's a very famous Ma'arik. It's a big heter in not going into the Chukas HaGoyim. And that is, only if we don't have a reason for what we do, and you like do what the Goyim do, that's the problem of like going in their chukim, right? Word chayk really means things that don't really have a tam. These like random things that Goyim do that make no sense, don't do it. But if we have a reason to do it, you rather said doing it first. But I'm not, even without that first thing, we have our own reason. We have a minute to daven for trees. We have a minute because on Har Sinai look beautiful. We wanted to commemorate that. So what that the Goyim are doing it? Why should, that's not about chukas same le'selechu. We have our own reasons why we do
When
it.
do we ever do something for no reason? And
No, you can't go to do something that they do without reason. Let's say you want to start doing what do Goyim do? The hair-
rabbis wearing the uniforms, the ekis.
Uh-huh.
So they say we have our reason to do it too, right? Hirsch, they all wore these like,
Funny, interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
like the-
So we have and they're saying we do have a reason.
yeah, so the
We have our own reason to do it.
Said no, and the Germans said yeah.
So to do random things that they do, I don't know, like going to, let's say there are things about going to theaters and watching shows that goes into like, we have no reason to do that. There's no major time to get entertainment. So therefore we can go into Chulus Le'selechu. But if we have our own reason that we're into it, what?
Who's your idea right there?
No. Next week. So therefore, it could be that's the reason why it's okay. Another thing they say is, he says, I didn't know this, the Goyim, they used to put trees inside and outside. You ever saw the Krasnach trees outside?
Sure.
Maybe a little bit by the squares. Rockefeller Center. We don't put it outside. We only do it inside. Okay, the minhag, by the way, if someone puts trees outside their shul, sounds like it's not the minhag. The minhag is only inside. So because it's inside and we don't do exactly what they're doing, therefore it's fine. The Chassam Sofer shul was beautiful. It's brought down in the Svarim that talk about the Chassam Sofer that he had a beautiful shul with greenery. Not only that, the Aron Kodesh was decorated with trees like all over, and the Sefer Torah itself was wrapped with greenery and flowers as they brought it out. Could we bring up to the board such an idea? The board is contemplating at this moment. There, you see, Yeshu is deep in thought about what he wants to do over here. What? If there's any more on top of
we
here,
still have some rubbish maybe.
could be. So Tzvi actually brought up today's Mother's Day. Today's Mother's Day. Is there is there a problem to go celebrate it, to be a curse of to your mother? I don't know, whatever else, your grandmother. So I think you definitely have his. I don't know if it's a problem at all. Not even possible. What? Yeah, it's the constant fushes. By the way, you should call your mother and say thank you to her for everything. There's nothing wrong with doing that always. But I think if there's a reason, keep it aveim. Keep it aveim. It's a mitzvah deraisa in the Torah. Anytime, your Mother's Day every single day. Keep it aveim. Your mother, your father. And I think that's not a problem. What?
The guy started doing it.
What do they do anything wrong with it? There's nothing they do that's like so. They think. I think if it makes you thank your mother one time, it's fine. And you have that ma'arik. We definitely have a time to do it, so I don't think it's a problem. I never saw someone ask a Shiloh. I had no clue. I would just say if someone asked me, I think it's 100% fine to go to say hello to your mother. Just one more thing. So, anyways, to wrap it up about this, either one you do is fine. I mean, whatever. Unless you have a minhag that your father did or your grandfather did, it seems to be different. Minhagim, the Shabru is not machriya. It's different amongst Achrayim. So whatever your shul or your minhag is, you could keep doing it. If you don't do it and you're very anti it, then keep being anti, and I go along with that. Talking about just very negea, some hilchas Shabbos, hilchas Zad about flowers. If you do have flowers in your house, what is the story with adding water or moving them? So just quickly about this, might be negea. This shul is actually interesting because it's Yom Tov and Shabbos, right? The second day is Shabbos. Shabbos is more chamer. So what's the story? So first of all, nothing is muksa. Okay, nothing is muksa. Once you've decided to have flowers, even on Shabbos, you want to move your flowers from your table, in the vase, here or there, where you have plants, you're allowed to move them. If it's like for Yom Tov and for Shabbos, you're allowed to move them off the table, on the table, and stuff like that. That's about being muksa. adding water and that type of stuff. So Shabbos and Yom Tov are different. What are the issues? So I'm not talking about plants that could grow in water. That's a huge issue to add water or to do anything like that. The ones that actually grow in water. I'm talking about flowers and and plants that are just for beautiful, like for scenery. They're not growing. Maybe the flowers will open. We'll talk about that in a second. But nothing's growing. There's no zorea. There's no real zorea going on here. So what are the potential issues? 2 issues. Number 1, if flowers haven't opened up yet, and you add water, it looks like you're planting because it wasn't open, and now it looks like you planted. So the Rabbanan came along and said it's like zorea. So you're not supposed to do that. That's one issue. And issue 2 is to add water on Shabbos is a tircha. Especially back then, you used to have to go to the well to add water. Okay, we have easy water to get from our sink. But Lamaisa, there wasn't, when Chazal instituted it, it was very hard to get water. So therefore, it's a tircha to fill up a vase on Shabbos or Yom Tov. So Shabbos were more machmer, Yom Tov were more mekel. What is the practical halacha l'maisa? I know it might be hard to remember this, but just you'll hear it once, and you could ask, or if you have a shiloh, you could check it up on Yom Tov. The best thing is have it prepared before Yom Tov and Shabbos, have it in the vase, ready to go, and then you mostly don't need to add water most of the time, and you should be fine if it's already in before. That's obvious, Shabbos or Yom Tov. But let's say you didn't. If you want to start off a brand new vase to add water, right? You have your vase, you have your flowers. You didn't get a chance to do it. You want to add water and put the flowers in. So on Shabbos, if it was not prepared before, if there's no water in the vase yet and you want to put water in, you're not supposed to do that, really. You're not supposed to add water on Yom Tov or on Shabbos. But if water was already in the vase and you just didn't put the flowers in, so then on Shabbos, Shabbos and Yom Tov, it's better not to, but if you need to, you can. Okay?
What if the flower ate the water, so it went down? You refill it?
What do you mean the flower ate the water?
You have water.
Oh, to add water. Shabbos, you're not allowed to add water, but on Yom Tov you could. That's one of the big differences in Shabbos and Yom Tov. Yom Tov you're allowed to add water. Shabbos you cannot add water. To fill up a vase of water, you're not supposed to. It's a tircha. But if water was ready in the vase, you just didn't put the flowers in, then Shabbos or Yom Tov, if it happened and your mom is stuck, you're allowed to be mekel. And put, as long as the flowers have already opened also. Already opened. If they're going to open, that's not so posh you can do it. But if they've already opened, you can do it. And we'll stop over there.